Namaskar and welcome to this New Year edition, the first show of the new year. Today is January 1st, and I was late because of the team, and we had to work on many things before we launch this session. And first of all, wish you a happy new year for most of you who are coming on this show today, joining live with me. And I really want to thank all of you for supporting me throughout 2022 and helping us to grow where we are in 2022. We in these 2022, many of my books got published. Many popular books you must have seen, Pandavas, the famous five, Transcending the Mind. They all came in 2022, and and I am really thankful to all of you for liking my titles and the style of my research. And many of you have bought original Ramayana and Mahabharata. That is a success to me, because if I'm able to inspire you to read the original text of Vyasadev and Valmiki, that is a success. And in this world, a lot of political issues are going on, geopolitics is going on. But I can assure you one thing, that if your mind is engaged in yoga, meditation, and the topics of Ramayana Mahabharata, you won't be affected by such geopolitical happenings, because geopolitics will continue. And I'm not saying anyone is wrong or right, but there will be always one side to be right and another side will be always wrong. And the result and how you understand what is right is, anything which is done correctly will result in a long term peace and prosperity for everyone. That is the so you find out the effect of a dharmic act by the quality of the results that are obtained. I was reading some reports, and I congratulate India and all the people of India who have emerged as the peacemakers all over the world under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. And I really want to congratulate, because the world is 2022 is looking to India for everything. And India has been the biggest success story of 2022. And also, 2022 was important because many of the scientific discoveries that Sattology did, Varkala Janardhan Swami Temple and Peru, Candela Paracas, all these topics which were written in my books as a proof were actually, I made a videos on them. I went to those places and made videos. And 2023 will see more of such things coming, including my travels to Europe and Africa. You'll see that, and also Mongolia if it permits, because I do not know what's happening in the geopolitics. But if I get a permission from the American State Department, I'm going to visit some of these places for the purpose of research of my book. I would like you, all of you, to see the become a member, Patreon member, and participate in a journey with all of us. Very easy to become a become a patron member, and which is already very easy to become it, and support us and join us also. 2022 also saw we launching multiple courses, upgraded course for 12x debunking mythology course. If any of you would like to learn in a scientific way the Sanatan Dharma and or the Hindu culture, then this 12x debunking mythology course is a must. It's a basic prerequisite. And also we also launched a Yoga Sutra course. I did one session already on that course, and it has helped many people. My book Transcending the Mind is becoming a mainstream translation of Yoga Sutra Patanjali, which is simple American English. Anybody can read it, anyone can understand it. It almost looks like simple English, very simple, much simpler than anything European or other translations are. So you can use that to in your pantheon of books, you can say. Pantheon is again the Roman word, because that's where the topic today is going to be. So many people told me that on this topic today, French connections to Hindu culture, told me that, oh, you are spreading conspiracy. Well, my answer to those people who say like that, first of all, I research and I collect facts and then I connect them to a Hindu culture. And I'm only going by the Western research and I'm going to prove it or disprove it. So let me tell you, for those people who say like that, loose comments, these are loose comments. To them, I say, conspiracy is what you have been taught, what you have been told, and what we are doing is bringing out the facts, and not only that, we bring it out in a book. This is a book which I'm referring to today. Some of you may have seen it, Gold, Glory, and God. This is the book from which I'm going to speak, and in that I've written much more details. If you search Sattology on Amazon, you'll see in all the continents all my books actually. And I'm also working on my new book, which is coming out very, it'll take me some time because I said I do a lot of research. I'm a fast writer, but I do a lot of research. In fact, this is where my brain goes in all the time. And I like it. I like to do it. It's not that it's something somebody has to inspire me to doing it. This is where I like to do it. So please do share widely so that more and more people join our live shows. And some of you who are on our Telegram channel, please share it widely. I did not get a time today to do that. So if you can do that, please do that. Please do share it widely so more people join this show live. So let us go back to the history of prehistory. Like I said, prehistoric connections. Now, English word history in the Western parlance means a commentary, means a commentary on the past without even going into the basics of few things which are mentioned, without getting into the nitty gritties of everything. But it just means recording the past. And most of the history was written by people who were trying hard to establish Christianism in Europe or any kind of Abrahamism in Europe, because that was the new culture or new religion being sold to the native cultures of Europe. A lot of crusades happened in Europe, and if you see the records of crusades, you'll be shocked to know it continued till 1935, 1945, till the Hitler was gone. Hitler also did a lot of destruction of Romani people. In 2017 or 2016, one of the Indian foreign ministers, Sushma Swaraj, was the first one of all the Indian politicians to recognize that Romani people came from India. Now, if you go back further, it's not the first time it has happened. If you look at the cradle of civilization, of culture, then that is only India, because most of the advanced cultures in the world existed around the river Ganga or river Yamuna or river Saraswati, and also other rivers which are part of the India even before 1947. Like, for example, many rivers flow in Pakistan. There are many rivers, most of those rivers are connected to Hindu culture. And the Hindu culture is based on Vedas or Puranas or Mahabharata or Ramayana. The word Hindu is recent, but it's a very commonly referred to as culture. So when generally people say Hindu, means connection to Veda. The word Hindu definitions is given in many shastras, but I'll tell you, even around 550 years back, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu referred to as followers of Veda as Hindu. That is one. And before that, if you look at the acharyas, then many acharyas have also referred to the word as Hindu. So this word is prevalent for almost 2000 years, the word Hindu. But some people say that, and these are different people saying the definition, that some people could not say S because therefore the Hindu came. All those definitions may be right, because the land between Himalaya and Hindu Mahasagar or Sindhu Mahasagar, we all know that is today known as Arabian Sea. I would request the Indian government to rename Arabian Sea as Sindhu Sagar, because that's the right name given in Ramayana, and nobody will object it, because everybody likes their history to be taken back, how old they are. So nobody is going to object it. Sindhu Sagar is the name for the Arabian Sea today in Ramayana. And Kapila Mahasagar is the Bay of Bengal. That is the name very commonly given. In fact, many Bangladeshis will be very proud to say that they are connected to a great teachings of Kapila Muni to Devahuti. Very great. This is a so Kapil Mahasagar is over there. So anyway, since we are going back to the see, it is our birthright to search our roots, and when the roots are cut off, then you cannot function. That society, that group of people do not exist when the roots are cut off. So, in order for people to get back to the roots, it's important that we connect to our original identity. Just like a child becomes very confident when you tell him about your parents, about your grandfather, about their grandfather, about great 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 grandfather, just truthfully what it was. It gives a great inspiration to a child. So it not only applies to individuals, it applies to communities as well, to nations as well, to a group of people. History, when it is told accurately, builds identity, and that identity creates a confident nation. But if there is a flaw in the history, or a propaganda is there and trying to cut off from the history, then the people who cut you off from your original history are the biggest beneficiaries. This has happened in Europe. In Europe, the Vatican, in the zealous uh, program or pogrom of actually cutting people from their history, created a group of people dependent on them for their history. So, what who was the actual beneficiary? The people who created that program of a pogrom of destruction of the history. And so, therefore, they established themselves as a very predominant through fear, that if you don't believe in what we say, there will be persecution. And because we represent God, and therefore we have the right to punish you. Believe me, no one has the right to punish anyone. The biggest punishment is given through your own karma. Mark it your own words. Your karma is higher than you because it's being recorded. And I'm going to write an article on that on Sattology.com. I have been writing less over there because I've been busy with my books, and there are a lot of things go on in my day-to-day lives as well. So I'm a little slow there, but I'm going to put some effort over there also. So you'll see a lot of these details, the witnesses. Who are the witnesses? And we need to know that all the elements, the sun, the moon, the stars, and every single atom is a witness of your actions. So, with that, I will begin today's show. So, watch it very carefully. So, I'm going to share my screen, and you will see something very interesting. We will start with, as usual, my favorite tool, Google Earth. And those of you who can see that, and if you're having problem in the sound, people keep telling me there is a problem in the sound, do let me know if there is a problem in the sound. So do you see the maps? You can type over there, comment over there, because this is a live show, not a recorded one. You can show the sound, you can tell me. Okay, so let's begin there. So we are going to zoom in on a place in southern France called Saint Maries de la Mar. And you'll be you want to know from me why I have chosen this place. Now this has been highly Christianized right now, where the attacks have been done, and this place has become a place where the church has put up its own deities over there, and created a fake story or conspiracy to connect it to the church. And church is very recent. Church came in ninth, 7th, 6th to 12th century, very recent. Their military conquests helped them spread it very far, and the untold violence which has never been told to anyone. So we are starting from Saints Marias de Lermar. This is where we're going to zoom in. I've chosen this place because most of my audience can relate to that. Okay, and and you'll be shocked to know now, if you see the entire map, this map, Chandragupta's armies in Hellenic Empire, Chandragupta's armies were very not very far from here. Chandragupta's armies were here, Istanbul. That was their capital, Hellenistic Empire. And if you look at the distance from, and why I went to Chandragupta's armies, because just to let you know that Earth is not, I mean, it's not very far if you go by, if you're connected, all these lands are connected, and you can reach this area from here. In any case, this was all Indian territory during that time. This was all India. Till this time, this is all considered Bharat. Therefore, when Alexander entered here, this area, he immediately, if you see my cursor, do you see my cursor? Everyone, you can type it over there so I know exactly if you're seeing my cursor. So it was here, and he said, I have entered the boundaries of India. And this is official records. If you see the Alexander's record, even though the Greeks created a lot of mythology, conspiracies, and a lot of fake version of the history, including the description of Alexander. Alexander was a disciple of Aristotle, student of Aristotle. And for everything, you need a guru. So Alexander also had a guru. So when he entered this area, and I will when I come to Persian story, then I'm going to tell it over there. He said, I've entered India. I've entered the boundaries of India. So so all this region that he went through, his armies went through, he thought he's in India. And he reached here. Today is India. I mean, this is all India before, but I'm just saying today's smaller India, which is much smaller. And when he reached to these rivers, this is where he was defeated, which is in Pakistan. And this is the Alexander story. Now, and when Chandragupta Maurya, and when he was coming back, Alexander was coming back, he died somewhere here in Basra. Somewhere he died. Euphrates River, on the banks of Euphrates, somewhere he died over here. Now, he ran back from here, even is defeated. He had to come via coast. It's easier to come, and he died here. This was the history. Now, if I and Chandragupta Maurya's armies followed him. In fact, his armies helped. They became allies. They got married in family, and the Chandragupta's armies became the predominant armies. And this was the eastern capital. So for all the Turkish people who are very proud of them, so Turkish people were defeated during Alexander's time. Turkish people were defeated in the Ottoman 1914 when the Indian soldiers under the British flag defeated the Ottoman Empire. And they were defeated before that during Mahabharat period also, way before that, because this entire region was ruled by Arjun with an iron fist from his armies, with his armies. Now, if you read the Vedas, Rig Veda and other aspects, Veda, I've been now getting into them, and you will be shocked to know that the Indra's Abhishek mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana and other places corroborated by the Vedic references somewhere in these regions, somewhere in these regions. And you will also be shocked to know, or some of you maybe already know, that the Greece is right here, not very far. So Pyrrhic Empire, Pyrrhic War, which you see the English term Pyrrhic War, that means no one is a winner. It's is fought using elephants from India and North Africa because elephants were the major tools of the Chandragupta or Maurya's armies. Okay. So this is the geography. So if you look at from the ancient culture, prehistoric culture, means before there was no Christianity or no Islam, and I'm talking about prehistory because that's what they refer to as. They say prehistory is not important, but for us, we are the old people in terms of old culture. For us, history is very important. From where did it all start? So you already know, some of you already know that how Sanskrit was the very common language across Lithuania, Latvia, and all these countries of the ex-Soviet republics there. So Sanskrit was here. Even the names, if you see in the Swedish, Scottish countries, Scandinavian countries, very close connection to Sanskrit. Yeah. And I don't get into that word jugglery because that's not my interest, so I don't get into that. But there are a lot of good people who have done that, many books written on that. But we will go straight to the symbols, the three things: food, language, and method of worship. These three things tell you the culture of the land: what kind of food they eat, what is the language they speak, and what is the method of worship. Not who they worship, what they worship. What is the method of worship? Now, these three things, if you study, this is exclusively my original thought. So I've not copied from anyone else because most of the people get into anthropology and other things. I'm not interested in those kind of things because those things can be easily manipulated. Like, for example, they say the first man has come from Africa. Very commonly thing told in American universities, American society. And I have to just ask them, do your hair look like them? Do your skull look like them? They have no answer to that. But this myth has been spread. You know why? Because they are the church, especially Vatican, and because they generate conspiracies. This is whatever being taught in the universities today is a conspiracy against the natives. And I'm all for the native culture, whether it's Native American, Native European, Aboriginal culture of Australia, Maori culture of New Zealand, and also the natives of South America and the natives of India too. Natives of India are the original Hindus who practice the Hindu culture. So India is a native nation. The entire country is native nation with the original culture. But when they change their mindset to something else, they are no longer natives. They are now conspiracy theorists. Now let's get back to the topic we have. But you need to understand this background before I tell anything else. Because this all this map which you see right now looks full of politics and other things and small nation states, all these things. For detail about the ancient tribes and all these the culture, you can refer to my book. I've written it there. But in this presentation, I'm not going to go deep into any of those aspects. Here we're going to stay focused on the topic. So we are discussing about this place, okay? And 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 I'm going to now share my screen. If you have any questions, you can keep asking me, and let me know your feedback. So I'm going to remove the map. I'm going to come back to a different screen. See, when I research, I pick up a shloka of Mahabharata because I am not perfect. I may have a lot of problems. I may have a lot of imperfections, mistakes I make. But how can you assume Shiv and Parvati's son Ganesh to make a mistake? Right? Cannot. Now, some people tell me texts have been changed. What about Sanskrit is a mathematical language. Sanskrit, if you write something wrong in one shloka, you make a change, you have to change all the preceding shloka. Believe me, the way the Mahabharata is written, nobody can do. No human can do that. Vyasdev, how can Vyasdev make a mistake and Ganesh both combined as a team make a mistake? You know. Now Bharadwaj and Valmiki, they're working as a team. How can they make a mistake? Valmiki is the disciple of Narad Muni, and Narad Muni is supervising him, and Brahma is inspiring him. So when you look at people who are talking all these things, I agree that many of the texts are lost. But understand one thing: there were many of the Vedangas burned, Vedic literature burned, commentaries burned, but the original text was far spread all over the nation, and large parts of countries even, must be even there in the other parts of the world. We don't know. People have hidden it. Okay. So therefore, I take it as axiomatic truth, and that's where I put my hypothesis on, and then I start researching. So this is the way to study and practice also, because sometimes you have to meditate, do your yoga sadhana, do your regular dharmic duties, or visit these places to rebuild your faith. The most important is have a team. Some people, they, even my students make that mistake. They hardly meet together. They think, oh, because the memory is very short in Kali Yuga, and we are not into the we are into sambandh abhideya prayojan, not just touching people or sampark. We are not into that. We are into being with people, creating close teams, and we continuously evolve. So join Sattology teams by doing our course, and not just remain an outside supporter. That also you do, but join our teams, get trained, and then you'll enjoy every bit of this journey. So let me show you the. We'll start with one. Okay. Now coming to, if you see my screen, some of you can see my screen. Now this is the temple, and this is the temple which is in that place I showed you, Saints Mari del Mar. Okay, and this is the temple. This is the deity, and you'll be shocked to know, like in India, Durga Visarjan was being done. Right, Durga Visarjan happens in Bengal, in other places. That was the tradition of the natives, prehistoric natives over there, to take Sarai Kali, because Sara is the name given by French, and actually the deity name is Ishtar, Inanna. Inanna is a deity which is usually coming from the traditions far east. Inanna, we also say Annapurna. Annapurna, the Annapurna means gives you grains, and from grains come fertility. So Annapurna, and it is called Annana, Inanna. And I purposely don't go into the word jugglery or word play, because it can go either ways logically. So I'm just going by the function, what person is doing. Ishtar, Ishtar, and Ishtar. The words can change because languages can change. Like even in a small country or a country like USA, where the primary language is English for most of the people and the secondary is Spanish for most of the people, due to the accents, the language changes slightly. Southern American accent is different than a New Yorker accent, is different than a Californian accent. It keeps changing. Texas accent is different. So within the nation also, the accent changes. 100 miles, 200 miles, and accent changes. So I won't go into the wordplay for that simple reason. Now the story is that the ancient prehistoric people of France used to come on this coast of France to submerge the deity of Kali into the water. Ancient tradition maintained in India for thousands of years, millions of years. It has been carried on, and just not just in any water, putting in Ganga, because Parvati, Ganga comes on the Mahadev's head and then flows down. He's the one who is controlling the force of Ganga on his head before it descends on the earth. So the traditions, I am fully not aware of that. Why the The deities are put in the water, and when I do a proper research, I'll come back to you with that why it is done, or I'll ask somebody, one of the guests on the show, to answer us that question. We'll go to just this aspect here. Now, you will be seeing, now these are all Romanized Christian terms because inculturation happened in Europe, where the church absorbed all the native symbols as part of the church culture. Like they've done everywhere. So they did to Europe as well. Started in Europe actually. First destroyed Europe, Europeans' native history, and then did that. And don't think it is ended now. And they make something very not good looking. Now, this is the place where the annual festival is happening, where the Romani people or the people of Indian descent, and believe me, everyone is Indian descent. It was a reverse Aryan invasion theory. The Arya means a civilized person who lives on the basis of Veda. So anyone who is following Veda is an Arya, civilized person. Just like a gentleman or a gentle lady. Arya, Arya. Arya means a civilized lady and a lady, and Arya means a good civilized person. So anyone who is have faith in Veda is an Arya. So Aryavrat means the land of civilized people. It's between Himalaya, and Himalaya is a huge mountain chain, 4,000 kilometers or more, around 4,500, and between Vindhyachal. So that huge area is Aryavrat. But when people do not follow the Vedic culture, they are called Yavana or Malicha. So this is the annual celebration happening in the southern France, and this is the whole story about that place. Now let us go to another screen now, and I took it purely the West. This is, see, Wikipedia is a is a propaganda site. Okay, so don't read much into Wikipedia. But I'm just saying to get the quotes of the Western authors. So what they say, if we compare the ceremonies, and this is what Wikipedia is saying, and Ronald Lee in 2001 saying, if we compare the ceremonies with those performed in France at the shrine of Saint Sarah, called Sarai Kali in Romani, we become aware of the worship of Kali Durga Sara has been transferred to a Christian figure. I'm not saying it. It's Ronald Rees saying it 2001. To a non-existent saint called Sara, non-existent saint called Sara, who is actually part of Kali Durga Sara worship among certain people in India. And I'm not saying it. This is what they're saying it. The Western scholars are saying, who are very honest. And some of them are very good scholars. And the name Sara itself is seen in the appellation of Durga as Kali in the famed text Durga Saptashati. I'm not saying it. This is the Western scholars saying it. And so some people who were telling me, oh, another conspiracy theory, you know, I'm telling them that when and you must have assumed already they must be from India, and or the leftist people who are trying to very hard nowadays to prove no, they're trying to be the faithful dogs of the mythologists. But I I'm only quoting them. I'm only quoting them because I already know that the entire Arvind individual theory was a fake theory. Arya means a qualitative person. Otherwise, why will Krishna say Kutastu Akashmalamidam Vishamesa Upasnam Anaryam Justam Aswargyam Akirtikaram? So when Krishna is telling Arjun Anarya, I mean that's something he won't say about his background because his background is glorious. Arjuna is connected back to Yayati. So and he's talking about his weakness, qualitative weakness, which is not a position of an Arya people. Arya means very determined, self-respecting, cultured people. So the Western scholars, the honest Western scholars, are putting out this research. That's the beauty of honesty. If the truth is found somewhere, we need to quote it. So it says that, and the entire theory of Saint Marlens, uh, Saint Marias de la Mar, It's a fictional account connected to Christianity, and this book is called pseudo historical book. This is how the France's original Hindu history was destroyed by the church. Okay, now we'll go to some more proof, because we are not here for criticizing people, we're just here to find the truth. Yeah. Now, in 1956, uh, it said once a year they took out on their shoulder the statue of Ishtari. Okay, statue of Ishtari. Now we go back to the statue of Ishtari. Now, most of you do not know where is Mesopotamia. Okay, so I'm going to go back to where is Mesopotamia. I'm going to stop this share, stop screen, and I'm going to go back to the my favorite thing for if you can see my screen. So if you see my screen here, now you will be shocked to see something. Mesopotamia. How many of you know Mesopotamia? Where it is Mesopotamia is? Does anyone know? You can type on the screen. Where is Mesopotamia? So somewhere in this region is Mesopotamia. Is Mesopotamia. I'm going to come deep into that. This all entire area, Iraq, this comes under Mesopotamia. Okay, very close. Like if you travel from India, there is in the middle, Persia. So these are all new names given. History changed, purposely changed, so that we forget the original source of history. And that's the whole point. Was there the Mesopotamia? But like if you go to American history classes and theology classes, why theology is made? Everybody, like Vedic culture says, God lives with everybody. There is a Paramatma in every body. Every body has a Paramatma. Is living everywhere. You don't have to search it. Shukdev Goswami says it. You just worship the Paramatma within the heart. He says it in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, first chapter. He says, and 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 Shukdev Goswami says. So there are many things he can say. We'll not go there. We'll stay to the topic. But you, God is a reality. You don't have to prove God's existence. Just like you don't have to prove the existence of a mother and father, they must be existing, therefore you're born. Similarly, God is a reality. So, entire science of theology is a fake science. They are trying to document how the God looks like, or does the God exist? That's the whole science based on. Theology means how can you do that? You're like it's the department designed to waste public taxpayers' money. It should be scrapped all over the world. Anyone talks about theology, scrap that department because it's not needed. I'm telling you one line of Bhagavad Gita. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha vedescha sarver aham eva vedya vedanta krit veda videvachan. 15th chapter, 15th shloka. Remember it. I reside in everybody's heart as Paramatma. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. This one line removes all the theological departments of the world. We don't need it. Okay. Save money. We are all wanting to save money here. 2023 will be scrapping the theology department. Okay. On the basis of Bhagavad Gita. God resides in everybody's heart. You don't have to search it. Now, if He's in everybody's heart, you have to just focus on doing yoga. Because through yoga, you connect yourself to Paramatma. Just do yoga. You no need theology departments. Okay, yoga schools are enough. All the yoga schools can take up the task of theology. Now, this is Mesopotamia. Now I come back to another screen. Stop screen, and then I am going to share my screen again, and will take you to Inanna. Okay, like I said, and lot of names are there. Akkadian Empire, this empire, all anglicized, Romanic, Greek names, and Greeks changed everybody's names. Greeks changed everything they found original. They created a complete mythology because they thought by selling a conspiracy to their people and forcing them to believe it, they are doing their good job. But actually, what Greeks did was not only they got destroyed, but everybody following the Greek culture is also the destroyed because the source is itself corrupt. Okay, so Greeks did a terrible work on the history by changing names. All these Akkadian names, this heaven, Queen of Heaven, Queen of Heaven. Anyway, so now let us go back to the pictures. What you see here, a lady Inanna, which why we already said she's the one who is worshipped in France, is riding a lion, carrying all the weapons, okay, and punishing somebody. Which picture comes to your mind? Durga, Mahisha Mardani. We're very famous devotees of great devotees. And she brings fertility, she brings wealth, she brings progeny, well known. Parvati and Shiva are known to populate the earth. It is by their energy the world is being populated by good people and as well as everybody else. Yeah. So, very common story. And look at the symbols over there. And I'll go back to the original, this one. Sorry. Uh, um, okay. This is a symbol from Mesopotamia. This is a picture of Ishtar, very common symbol, three-pronged star. Yeah. And you see the Chandra, Surya, and you will see the Chandra, Surya, and also this is uh, uh, the third I forgot, Chandra, Surya, and one more. Okay, so now more what you are seeing here. This is uh, something which is carrying the hand, getting marriage, being blessed over here, and then she is appearing for blessing in the sky. Yeah. And Ishtar, this is Ishtar, many forms of Ishtar, like just Durga has many forms. Namaste Siddha Sena Nyare Mandarvasi Kumari Kali Kapali Kabile Krishna Pikile. Many forms, many names of Durgas are there, many forms. And she's bringing wealth, fertility like a mother. And this is the most commonly held picture where she's appearing with eight hands, Ashtashula Praharne, Khadakhetaka. Eight hands, and she's carrying all different kinds of weapons. Very common story of Ishtar. This is what being worshipped in that place. And imagine this is way before the even the current migration of Romani people. Romani people are the original Europeans. Almost 60 to 100 million people are still there, out of which 30 million people they were thrown out of Europe by the Vatican, did not agree to their practices, all in the name of theology. And this story is very commonly seen all across. The eagle, the wolf, many forms of Durga are like that. The mother, it is said, the mother God, Kali, Durga, is worshipped all over the world. All over the world. In fact, one of the prayers of Arjuna is Nityam Vasasi Pale Dvijayasi Danavan. She is worshipped all over the world. Nityam Vasasi Patale. Nityam Vasasi Patale. You know? For Durga, there is no place unclean or bad. Every place is clean. But we have to focus on this because Arjuna is not going to say any prayer. Arjuna is going to say a very qualified prayer because he knows Shastras very well. Again, that complete picture is there, which is shows Ashtashula Prarane Khadak Khetak Dharani. And people are worshipping her all over the place. See, cultures change. when you are moving from one place to another, cultures change. There are new things come over there, and this is the r- facts which are recorded by the Western civilization, not by me. Is recorded by the Western civilization. Cultures change, depictions change. Like for example, you may wear dhoti kurta in India, and nowadays people don't wear it in any way. But some people may wear a pajama kurta. The dress style changes. Everybody's likings are different, but we are still connected together because connection is built on values. Connections are not built on uh, just superficiality of clothes. That is very real. Now, very common, like you see the different types of weapons being told, and she is carrying that she's controlling a lion, and people are worshipping her. Now, any story we can also come up with that story. Again, Durga coming, and other people are trying to worship her, and or trying to attack her, and she's protecting and preserving them. These are the stories. And again, the a Yagashala, other people are worshipping, and then again Durga is being worshipped. This is the common culture of Europe, and this is a more refined picture of Europe, where she is coming seen with two owls and on a tiger. That means she is a source of dhana or wealth, which is very commonly culture of Lakshmi. Lakshmi Devi's favorite symbol is there. Is Lakshmi symbol is a carrier is owl, Lakshmi Devi's, and she's also on the lion. So it's a combination of different of their cultures in manifestation. So most of these reliefs and the murtis or the deities are a production of love. So sometimes you may see in one form of Durga everything else. See, Nav Durga, you see one in everything, whatever you like. But descriptions are there in Shastra very commonly. On her left hand, she is holding an ankush, which is a yogic symbol also, and also a symbol on controlling the senses. Because elephants have considered to be a very loose senses. Elephants, they fall easily prey. That's how the elephant is caught. And then bull is being torn, you know, and and being destroyed by this person sent by Ishtar, coming from Vedic Puranic stories, but transformed because of distance. And the script is all Brahmi, and here we see the Greek city. This is a Greek mythology of Inanna and Dumuzi. Dumuzi means Shiva and Parvati. Dumuzi. Like I said, they destroy a lot of names. So other things are pretty much are not very accurate depiction, because they are very destroyed by the church. And then if you look at the museums of Europe, you will find many of these stories to be very much visible, but you need to still have the context, otherwise you won't see them as it is, because they have changed the names of everything. So I will stop here, and if you have any questions or comments, you can ask me here to the today's topic about Europe. And I'm very happy. Please do join us, support us, become a member of our YouTube channel, and also join our mythology courses, because in the courses we discuss about these topics in much more detail. If you're part of the yoga studios, do join us for a yoga certification course. And we will this year we will try to get affiliated to American schools and colleges to offer our courses as a standard curriculum in some American schools. So with that, I'll stop here, and I need your help. I want you to join us, and I need a lot of help. Become a part of my team. Join our Telegram, and in fact, when you become part of Telegram, I sometimes communicate directly also. So please let me know if any question is there. I'll take up now. So Arun Kumar Sharma is saying great research done by Sattology team. Thank you very much. Thank you. And Uh, Lovepreet Singh is asking, you can ask me questions here. Was Balram used Hull as a weapon? Yes, he used, definitely used. And some of you are asking, when will I speak in English? Believe me, I will speak in Hindi, sorry, one day, but I do not speak because a lot of people don't understand if Hindi. If I do that, most of the people, whenever we do Hindi shows, the viewership is very, very less. That's why I don't do that. So thank you so much for joining today. And I really thank you for coming on the show. And let's start with the new year in a much more better way. Thank you. Namaskar.